Hi everyone, Victor here again, and in today's lesson, we'll be looking at how to write and run the Ansible playbook. In one of our previous lessons, we discussed what a playbook is, and we understood that a playbook is a file that contains instructions or set of instructions of the IT task that you want to automate. The next question would be, how is then a playbook written to contain this IT task? Before I continue, I would like to say that I have discussed extensively on how a playbook can be written in the Ansible Series 1 course. So, in case you are interested, I'll be dropping the link to that course, to that particular lesson rather, in the description box below. So, moving forward, a playbook contains or basically contains the following: a play, a task, and a module. And a playbook can be written often in the YAML format. So, what is a play? This is a perfect example of a basic playbook. So, let's understand what a play is with this playbook. A play defines a host or group of hosts that will be mapped to a task or group of tasks. So, for this playbook, this is the play and this is the task. And the name of the play is my first play, deploy Apache, and the name and the host this play defines is amn1.technic.com. And of course, a play can define more than one host, and the task that is mapped with this play is this task, and the name of the task is my first task, install HTTPD. So let's go back to how we defined a play. We said a play defines a host, which is this host or group of hosts that will be mapped to a task, which is this task or group of tasks. And the name of the task is my first task, install HTTPD, which is this. So again, what is a task? A task is an instruction that will be executed on the managed host with the use of modules and or argument. So for this playbook, the name of the task, of course, is my first task, install HTTPD, which is this. This is the name of the task. And the task will use the module ansible.builtin.dnf. This is the module that the task is going to use. And the module is going to do the following. The module will install the package name, which is HTTPD, and the module will use the argument state latest, meaning that it's going to install the latest package of the HTTPD using this DNF module. And of course, what is even DNF? What does DNF do? The DNF installs packages. And now let's go back to the definition of a task. We said a task is an instruction that will be executed on the managed host, which is this managed host. So these instructions are all going to be executed on the managed host. And voila, this is how to write a basic playbook. So let's run this playbook. So on my control node, if I do ls, of course, if I do pwd, I have my files here. And if I do ls, so the play is playbook1.yml. So I can just say cat playbook1.yml. So you can see the play, and of course, to run this play, you can say Ansible Navigator. We can say run module standard out, and the playbook is playbook1.yml. So when we run this play, let's see the output that we're going to get here. So the first thing we see here is that it's trying to gather facts, and you can see the first play here, which is my first play, which is to deploy Apache. and it's gathering facts. And then it's gone to my first task, which is to install HTTPD. And you can see here changed, meaning that the HTTPD package has been installed on this node. And you can see the play recap. So we have just one changes, and we have zero failed action, and we have zero skipped action, we have zero rescued action, and we have zero ignored action. So whenever you run a playbook and you see the color, this color yellow, it means that a change has been made. And when you see the color green, it means that no changes has been made. And that is why we usually say that a playbook is idempotent. So when we say a playbook is idempotent, we mean that you can rerun the playbook as many times as possible. If there are no changes made, it will come back as this color green, and if there are any changes made, it will come back as the color yellow, meaning that a change has been made. And that's what we're seeing here, that the package HTTPD has been installed on the managed node amn1.technit.com. Now that we have run our first basic playbook, let's understand what a module is. From our playbook, this is the module, which is ansible.builtin.dnf. So let's forget about this ansible.builtin and let's pay attention to this DNF. And what does the DNF command do? Of course, it does install packages. In this case, the DNF module is used to install the package HTTPD, and so then it is safe to say that a module is a package or tool or unit of code that is used to accomplish your IT task. There are a lot I want to talk about module, but I don't want to module things up here. So I'm going to be dropping a link in the description box below where you can learn more about the Ansible module. And I recommend that you should check that link and so you can learn more about it. So what we're going to do next is to write a playbook with multiple plays and multiple tasks. So this is an example of a playbook with multiple plays and multiple tasks. And this playbook is just an extension or a continuation of the first playbook that we ran. So in the first playbook, of course, this is the first play and this is the first task. And now what we did is to add another task to this play. So we have a second task that has been added to this play. So what the task will do, of course, is to make sure that, so this is the name of the task, which is start and enable HTTPD. So the task will make sure that the HTTPD service is started and enabled by using this module, which is the ansible.builtin.service module. So these two tasks are going to be executed or accomplished on this play, and the play has the host name of amn1.technit.com. So again, in this playbook, we have our second play, and the name of our second play is create a secondary Apache user, and the second play is going to be defined on the host development. Don't forget that in our inventory file, we had the development inventory. We grouped both the amn1.technit.com and amn2.technit.com under the development group. So here, this is the second play. So in this playbook, we have two plays now, and we have the first task for this second play. So what the first task will do for this second play is that it would create the Apache user. This is the name of the task. So the task would create the name, the username Apache, and is going to also make sure that the Apache user is in the group will group, and it's going to use this module to do the job. And the module is ansible.builtin.user module. So in this playbook, we have two plays and three tasks. So this is the first play, this is the second play, and this is the first task, this is the second task, and this is the third task. I mean, this task is the third task. So we have two plays and three tasks in this playbook. Before we run this playbook, I have to mention that playbooks are written in YAML format, meaning that there has to be a correct indentation, that is the child-parent relationship. And this is what I mean. Whenever you want to write a playbook, so when you're writing the first play, it's going to follow the indentation this way. That is, the name and the host will be on the same line. And for task, you have a task, and then the name of the task will be a child to the parent task. And then also you're going to have the module two, they are going to be on the same line with the name of the task, and then the name of the package that the module will be working with is going to be a child to the parent module. You can see that's why you can see those lines here. And also for the second task, it's going to follow the same line. And if you look at the second play too, it's going to start here, and then the task comes by rather, and then you have the child parent relationship. I have extensively thought about how to write a playbook in the Ansible Series 1 course. So I would recommend that you check that course if you want to learn more on how to write playbooks. I'll be dropping the link to that particular lesson in the description box below. I taught about a playbook, extensively in that lesson. So now we can run this playbook. So here is my control node, and if I do pwd and I do ls, so this is the playbook, which is playbook2.yml, and you can see what we have here in the playbook. All right, so let's run this playbook. And before I run this playbook, I would like to do a playbook syntax check to see if all the syntax or how the indentation, if the indentation is correct. So if the syntax is not correct, of course, you're going to get an error, and to show you where you're missing it, to show you the line where you're missing it. But if it is correct, you're not going to get any error. So to check for the syntax, we can just say Ansible Navigator run module standard out. We can say playbook to the YML, then we can say syntax check. All right, so because we did not get any error, it means that our syntaxes are correct. So now let's run this playbook. So I can just remove the syntax check here, and then I can say enter. All right, okay, fine. So we're done running this playbook. And if you look at the output here, you would see that here you can see that my first play is to deploy Apache. It gathered the facts, which is the amn1.technic.com. And because we've already installed the HTTPD package in our first playbook, you can see that this is green. So it did not install the HTTPD package again, and that's because it has done that before. So this is the idempotency, feature of the Ansible playbook. And for the second task here, you can see the second task here, which is start and enable HTTPD. So it started and enabled HTTPD on this host. And then for the second play, you can see here that we have created a secondary Apache user, and it gathered facts on both this on the two nodes, because don't forget that this is going to be accomplished on the development group, and we have these two nodes on the development group. And now what it did was to create the Apache user 1 on both nodes, which are the AMN1 and AMN2 nodes. And if you look at the play recap, you can see that we have two changes. We have zero failed task, we have zero skipped task, zero rescued, and that's for the AMN1. And for the AMN2, we have just one changes, and this is the recap. So this is how you're going to run a playbook. And also, there's I wanted to talk about dry run for a playbook. So I think you should check the link. You're going to learn more about how to use the dry run syntax of a playbook. So I want to say thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, share, enable. And when you do this, you will encourage us to do more.